See, right now, listen to me. My line's dead. So why don't you just cut the crap, okay? You don't need to come into my house. You don't need to use my bathroom. You don't need to sleep on my couch. You don't need to check for any burglars. And I definitely don't have any aspirin for your fake out headache. So let me tell you what. You're not getting inside me or my house. So why don't you and little Puffy just get to step? Juwanna! I love you, Juwanna. Well, how about just a little kiss? Kiss? I ain't giving you no little kiss! Giving you no little kiss. I can't stay. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Juwanna Mann. Now this movie is from 2002 and it stars Miguel Nunez Jr. and Vivica A. Fox. Now before we get into all things Carolina River Crickets, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, then we're going to come back and discuss. It is absolutely crazy how far a brief performance from Tommy Davidson can take your movie. When I say I hadn't watched Juwanna Mann in a minute, I did not know the only spark and memorable thing was Puffy Smoke.
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this movie. But first, I have to give a shout out to the person who paid for and requested it. So if you happen to want some of your brown sugar, like Puff Smokey Smoke, it's not because of me, it's because of this person right here. Thank you so much for supporting me and paying for this content. Now, getting into this movie was directed by Jesse Vaughn, a 27-time Emmy Award winner. Was it for Juwanna Mann? Absolutely not. Directing and producing a diverse group of things like in living color episodes, TV music specials, many of the music videos that we loved throughout the late 90s and early 2000s, and most often what he was praised for, documentaries. However, Juwanna Mann was a big fat flop upon release. And Miguel Nunez Jr., from what I know, first and only leading role in a film. He was always one of those actors that you saw a little bit of everywhere and a little bit of everything, but you never really knew his name, even though he had been acting all the way since the 80s in things like Harlem Nights or Return of the Living Dead. And of course we have things like the Martin episodes, you know, Pretty Ricky, what they called him. And then you have things with Martin once again, you know, Reggie, Chicken King. If you need a wing or a thigh, he can get it to you. I even remember his role in the short-lived TV show Sparks. And then of course we have the ultimate, I got a man that's more than 8 foot tall, 4 foot shoulders, and that ain't, you already know what it is. You saw him, you knew him, but he was never center stage. Now right away we meet the rich, indulgent, trash-talking, self-absorbed, egotistical basketball player Jamal, who believes that there is definitely an I in team, to the point that he disrespects team members, coaches, even his fans can get it. Flashing an auditorium full of people his junk puts an exclamation mark on just how cocky he is, feeling like the skills that he possesses on the court makes up for him being downright unlikable to anybody who's ever met him. Anyone and everyone around him are solely there based off of what he has and not who he is. Even girlfriend Tina, here portrayed by Lil' Kim, looking good. It was very, you know, you got it going on. What? Had the hunter, Janet Jack, me take it in the bud. yeah, we ain't doing that. What about all this good loving you was getting up in here? Yeah, I packed that in the batteries too. I'm leaving you. The only person who seems to be able to tell Jamal anything about himself is his Aunt Ruby, portrayed here by Jennifer Lewis, giving Jennifer Lewis. Strictly here to be a source of guidance for a delusional Jamal once he is finally suspended for the behavior and the antics that he continues to display. We are untradeable, nobody wants us, and we lose everything. Living your typical basketball star lifestyle. Who I am and what I have is gonna last forever. Besides, who is better than Jamal Jeffries? Whatever humble is, Jamal is the opposite. Taking a cue from movies like Tootsie, White Chicks, Sorority Boys, and Mrs. Doubtfire. As a final option and with a little assistance from a very reluctant aunt, we decide to cross-dress as a woman to sneak into the WNBA, along with our southern accent, a dusty brown wig that is definitely recycled off of Jada Pinkett's head from Goddamn Woo, some brown chicken cutlet, extra jiggly titties. Amazingly, even though Jamal is a well-known basketball superstar, nobody knows who he is because he just looks so much different in a brown wig and some makeup. So much so that no one from the WNBA league, the random police officer, his very own agent, who I am sure, though we were eager and happy to get rid of his problematic ass, has looked at his face for years. Doesn't recognize him until after we've gotten a tryout with the Banshees, we've signed on a dotted line, we faxed it, and then Jamal cunningly decides to reveal who he truly is. Clearly, I wanted the movie to go a little bit further with Jamal's transformation. But you know, hey, this is blackmail. No, it's not blackmail. It's black female. Juwanna is once again in the perfect position to get money, ball hog, upstage, and ostracize her new fellow team members. Vivica A. Fox here as Michelle, current captain and team leader, who thinks she personifies what the game is really about, and is just disgusted at the fact that Juwanna shows up out of nowhere to not only disrespect but dominate. Kim Wayans is also in this film. I completely forgot that she was here. With our director coming from something like In Living Color, you can see why Tommy as well as Kim are in this movie. Here as your typical masculine presenting, hardened exterior lesbian basketball player, who if she isn't gossiping, then she's checking out booties just as much as Juwanna on the court or in the locker room. Here giving, Allen Iverson with those damn braids. Give me a good book and a good bitch and I'm straight. It was terrible. This movie is not winning any awards for writing, character development. None of that is here. In fact, what I found to be just most profound about this movie is that at the time, this was supposed to be straight up a joke. Juwanna and the whole Mann were supposed to be far-fetched situations that could never happen in reality. Cut to current day, which I'm gonna elaborate on a whole lot more in my live directly after this. This is really a thing. If I so happen to change my mind, identify as a woman, get on a couple of hormone blockers, decide to transition, then I should be allowed to play in female sports. Even if before I ever decided to transition and I was playing on a male-dominated court, male-dominated field, and I was probably ranked all the way down there at the bottom. However, when I transition, I'm all the way up here and winning everything. That should not matter. I am identifying as a woman, I am trans, and I should be able to play on this team. Kick everybody's ass, and you can't say a thing about it. Leave a comment below. With Jamal as Juwanna so easily given access to the WNBA and to the team of the Banshees, his agent goes along with the charade, giving that he has one stipulation: do not dunk. You cannot dunk here. I'm guessing it was because this is a rarity in the WNBA for women to be dunking, but it was, a little sexist. Like, you wouldn't want to give your gender away by dunking because, bitches don't be dunking. What did crack me up with Juwanna is that she is constantly having a little nip slip. She is constantly adjusting. She is constantly playing basketball with 3 layers of makeup on her face, and nobody says anything about it. Oh, that's just Juwanna. She eats, sleeps, breathes in a full face of makeup all the time. Now, Genuine is also here, you know, as Genuine, 9 o'clock, home alone, paging you, wish you could, I don't know. He's here as Romeo, being so anxious per usual. The cheating, untrustworthy boyfriend to a very naive Michelle, who Jamal sizes up right away as trash, as if he wasn't cheating on his girl. You got it going on. What? When we met him, you was cheating on, you know, the little K-I-M. It's the little one and I'm not Bow Wow. When we met you. But okay, Romeo just so happens to be friends with the Golden Grill, hyperactive, relentless Puff Smokey Smoke, trying his hardest to give 99 and 2000 make him say, I need a hot boy ass energy. Absolutely a case of love at first sight. The moment he spots Juwanna Man, who is all that in a baseball bat and a Hot Wheel track. Like, when I tell you, I really felt like I remembered Tommy Davidson being in this movie a whole lot more than he was. That's because he steals the show and is absolutely the best thing about the film. You a tall glass of water and I'm thirsty. Tell me something, did it hurt when you fell from heaven? Yeah, back up off me, Mr. Puffy Smoke. As team captain Michelle begins to spend more and more time with Juwanna to encourage a bit of team reciprocity, Jamal begins to grow closer and closer in feelings for her, as well as his attraction for her. About 93% of this movie is the typical suggestive male gazing, flirtation, suggestive body language, scenarios where Juwanna would want to be anything other than a woman. Things like Jamal suppressing his real feelings, you know, an adventurous girls' day at the spa, even getting down into, you know, rubbing a homegirl's shoulders like, ooh, it's getting hard in here. Very typical things. Now, though you should absolutely expect nothing from the writing, the script, or this movie, I really felt like they could have elaborated a little bit on Jamal's arrogance, all of his reluctant, like, I want to be a ball hog, I want to be the center of attention. We could have, you know, gave Jamal a little bit of history, you know, some backstory. We see that there is only your Aunt Ruby, but we never hear anything about, you know, parents. Did they pass away? Did they look like? Give us something as to why Jamal is the way he is. Even getting down to Jamal not really taking heed of what Michelle is putting down. The only time that we encourage or even become a team player is by accident, when we accidentally fumble the ball and give it to Michelle. Realizing that it isn't necessary for Jamal to do it all on his own, finding solace in what it really means to be a team player, really growing and creating bonds with these women. That's when, you know, we don't have ongoing scenes of Jamal being extra, grabbing everybody's ass. Oh, Juwanna, you give ball with me? Thank you, Juwanna. Like, oh, this is not the movie. As far as I'm concerned, the only time this movie is the moment is whenever Tommy Davidson decided to grace us with his presence as Lil Puff Smokey Smoke. The way that he interacts with Juwanna in her disdain for the advances that Puff Smokey Smoke continues to bestow upon her, all while he is making an attempt to fill her up, as Juwanna just grows more and more envious of a Romeo and the attention that he gets from a gullible yet hopeless romantic Michelle. Oh my Lord, I just know you didn't set me up on a date with a Carolina River cricket. Hallelujah, it's called the word fly. Watch my wings. Like, Juwanna got him crazy. Old Town 357, like, steals the show. If Tommy wasn't here, this absolutely would have been a boy fest. Not us not being politically correct, basking in the fact that Juwanna is throwing back those damn drinks as if that's gonna make her an easier sexual target for later. But like, no, you know, how you like it? Yeah, we cannot do any of that anymore. Back your ass up, Puff Smokey Smoke. Around the time that we got to the dinner table scene, and really like low-key before that, this is definitely a white chick scenario. I was like, Lil Puff Smokey, this is Latrell. Now white chicks kind of come through and steal a little bit of the idea. The whole play between Juwanna and Puff Smokey Smoke is definitely Latrell later on in White Chicks. Finally, on a real team, changed a little bit, successful, giving autographs in real time with our real hand, Juwanna has hit her stride. With the team even joining in on her fake ritual to take a shower in the uniform. The bond is set. That is until Juwanna has to take a physical and decides to don a mascot costume to get out of it. This is too much. I need to go back to being Jamal. After we console a broken-hearted Michelle who's grown very close to us and considers Juwanna a friend and knocks Romeo's ass the hell out, seeing the error in his ways, Jamal does the first selfless thing that he has done in a very long time, choosing to show up for the Banshees in the playoffs rather than plead his case with the board of the NBA league as to why he should be allowed back on a team. Juwanna, I still love you, Juwanna, man. It don't make me no difference. Juwanna, I love you. Like, everything is fine until Juwanna decides to slam dunk during the playoffs, shattering the whole goal in the hoop and knocking that damn wig off of her head. Like, how was it ever on there? Was it just sitting on there the entire time? Like, it just magically slips off and then all of a sudden, oh my God, it's a man. Not only is it a man, but it's Jamal Jeffries. He's been fooling all of us this entire time. His cover is blown. In a repetitive fashion, we are right back to where we started, receiving advice from Aunt Ruby. Juwanna man's up, coming to the ladies in his true form, stepping up, being humble, learning a lesson, motivating them to win that championship, making them realize, and also himself realize, that you guys never actually needed me. I needed you. It was in reverse. I've learned more about myself now than I've ever thought I would in my whole life. Oh, child, it was cheesy. As if it would ever be allowed. The women not only win the championship, but we show up and advocate for Jamal as to why he should be let back in the league after all the antics that he's done. He's a changed man. Vivica even says he's my man, all because, he gave me flowers just because it was, Wednesday. We get a real live happy ending. Juwanna comes back to the league as Jamal, and he is better for it. I only watched this movie for Puff Smokey Smoke. Well, you guys, that was my review for Juwanna Man. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop down and tell me if you did. Boy, I was pulling for this one. There isn't a whole lot going on in Juwanna Man, but I hope the review reflects a little bit more. Anyway, I look forward to hearing and reading what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember to hit that like button. I see you guys next time for my next review. Bye.